Good. All right, Coach.
Wow, what a game. Heck of a football game. Extremely proud of our kids. I mean, resiliency. No matter what it was, whether we were shooting our own selves in the foot, we just kept playing. Going to the next play, our defense was outstanding. I think they gave up like 112 yards in the first quarter, and after that, I mean, they basically shut them out. And they were at 6 sacks, 3 and outs, the field position, along with our punting and our punt coverage dictating that, not getting a lot of first downs, really controlled the field position. They were outstanding. Offensively, moved the football. First half struggled, shot ourselves in the foot on a couple drives, then move it like crazy, get a good drive, come out, get a good drive, and then have a high snap. We're 1st and 10 on the 18, get a high snap. Then we're on 1st and 10 on the 30, 35, and we're handing the ball off, and he thinks we're pulling it, and we drop the ball. And then then we jump off sides. Then the first drive, just some silly things, but we kept moving the football. And then we had the 3rd and 1, and that was a quarterback run. It was a quarterback boot all the way, and he lost the snap, didn't get clean to him, and then he bobbled, and then he got it, and then he got it knocked out. And it was just a situation where he can't do it, but we played it, moved on. Defense was outstanding in overtime, got the sack, and then the offense lined up and ran the football when we had to run it. And we're getting more physical, we're getting better. I think we ran for 164, threw for 226. It wasn't bad. 3rd down was a lot better. Some of those critical 3rd down conversions on those drives, we picked up some critical 3rd downs. We're getting better there in what we're doing. So we're a long way off from a perfect team by far, but we're getting better. We're learning how to compete, and we learned how to play with some pressure in some situations when the game we had momentum and lost momentum and got better. And hopefully we'll line up this week and get ready to play a very good South Carolina team who had an outstanding win today.
On the right, questions? Gabe, then Ben.
Yeah, Jimbo, after the jet sweep for a touchdown, the number is 66 total yards from that point on. What specific adjustment, Elko does such a good job with it, what specific can you tell
we had
us?
that. We just misplayed that. We had a leverage point there, but we had leverage on the plays, and what we were doing, we were covering. The other thing was the passing game. We weren't giving throws, and we were going to make them try to throw the football. We wanted them to we had to make them do something that they didn't do as well. The running game is what they ran. Snell's a heck of a player, so we could not let him beat us. We could not let him beat us, so we determined to take that away and made him throw the football. And then the other thing we did was able to put pressure on the quarterback. Being able to get the sacks and the rush and the things we did with the quarterback, the 6 sacks, was very critical.
Ben?
Jimbo, for you to get the progress that you wanted to see out of this team in the program in the first year, did you feel like this was a game you had to win?
I don't say it was a had to win. I thought, like I said going in, I thought it was a fork in the road. I thought it was a great measuring stick game for us. I mean, I think because we played 2 really good teams that no one thought we could play, and we played really had Clemson, Alabama. We had our opportunities but didn't do it. And then we beat 2 teams that everyone thought we would beat. Arkansas thought we would win, but we played a solid game, and we're learning how to win on the road. And then come in here against a ranked opponent expecting to win. And I told our guys, I saw them for the game, this is a measuring stick. It's not going to make or break. Whether we win it or lose, it's not a make or break deal. But what it is, it's a measuring stick to see where we got to go from here and if we're heading in the right direction. There's a fork in the road, and we had to take the right fork, and we're starting to do that. Now, we got tons of things to clean up, and like I said, it doesn't make or break just because you won this game. We have to line up and get ready and go back to work tomorrow. But, we did the right things tonight.
Staying on the right, Olin, and then Sam.
Yeah, Coach, after the fumble that they returned to tie it, did you feel compelled to have to say anything to try to calm the guys down, or what?
No, you know what's funny? I just say, guys, we got to go back and play the next play. But they come over that way. There was not a panic in their eyes, and that was a good thing. I liked what I saw in their eyes coming out. And again, we didn't move the ball. We come out, we ran a boot, and they played it perfect and forced us to ground the ball and did that. But there was not a panic and they say, like I told them, we're still tied. Let's go play the next play. But they were ready to do that. I didn't have to say that.
We'll go Sam and then
I
Mark.
said it, though, but I always do.
How much toughness did your team show you tonight?
Showed a lot of grit and toughness. Showed a lot of competitiveness, a lot of heart. They want to win. And like I said, I've said that before. Our kids they allow you to coach them. They have great attitude. We have great character kids. We just got to keep doing a better job of coaching them and getting them to finish some of these drives. But we're getting better in a lot of areas, and we got a heck of a group of kids in there. There was a lot of toughness in that group, a lot of it, a lot of character.
To the left, Mark, and then down front, Travis.
Coach, Travion had exactly 200 yards of total offense. Looked like by the end he was just beaten and exhausted. Can you talk a little bit about his performance and what you thought about just his play overall?
He was outstanding. We gave him screens. We gave him the ball. We touched balls in his hand. And that was the other thing. We had a couple critical drops in the game. That hurt us. We had some opportunities too. So we kind of passed it around on offense. But he's a warrior. He's a competitor. He does now. He practices that way. He's the guy who's on those guys. You know, Dono, here's a guy on defense who played his heart out. He practices like that. Dotson practices like that. Alaka practices like that. Kiki and Matabuka, all those guys. But those guys love to do it, and it's paying off. They're carrying it to the field from the practice field, and Trayvon's a warrior, man. I mean, he can do it all. He can catch, he can run, and he's a great competitor.
Down front, Travis, and then to the left, Zach.
Coach, along the same lines, looked like Dotson kind of suffered something pretty harsh when it happened, but was able to come back on. What did he? Do you know what he fought
no,
through?
No, he didn't. They said just something at the time, caught it, and he was fine.
And just what it showed.
I don't know. They just said they come back and say he's going to be okay. I said they'll tell me everything after.
Just the effort for him to come back.
Listen, like I said, that guy. I told him, you can't get thrown out. And you ain't allowed to get hurt. We already got that on an understanding, okay? You can't do that. We said that. I told him that. I told him that a long time ago. So he listened.
Down front, Zach, and then Olin.
Jimbo, right down here. This is the second game. Statistically, you guys are pretty dominant in some facets of it. So what was Kentucky doing so well that kept you guys off the scoreboard?
I mean, just us, two things. Us self-inflicted wounds. And listen, they were giving up 12 points a game coming in this game. They were 12.8, 12.6, and 280 yards a game. I mean, they played Mississippi State, they played Florida, they played South Carolina. I mean, they played some good football teams. And they're a good defense. And 41's going to go make a lot of money. Inside guys are big, and they're fourth and fifth year players. I say when you play in the safety, 25 is a heck of a football player. 8, their corners did a good job. I mean, we got our plays, but we didn't play with enough consistency once we got to the red zone, the tight zone down there, and putting those drives in. And then we had those situations occur. One was, again, a high snap. I said we're 1st and 10 on the first drive in the second half. On the 18, snap a ball over our head back to the 30. And they can't overcome it, miss a field goal. Then the next drive, we take it right back again. I think we're on about the 35. Is that about right?
I think so.
And we went to hand it, and he was handing it, and he thought he was pulling it, and we dropped the ball. Then we got behind the sticks there. We weren't finishing the drives, but they're a good defensive football team, and Mark's they're a heck of a football team. I mean, coach on defense.
To the right, Olin.
Coach, I know it's kind of obvious, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Just your thoughts on how big Kingsley's sack was, and then I want to just see if you would mind giving maybe your evaluation of Kellen also.
Well, I mean, the sack was huge. The sack was huge in the game. I mean, because it put it back and that made it a legit 42, 43-yard field goal. And obviously, another yard had probably been good. I mean, obviously, another yard and it's good. So that obviously paid off. Kellen in the game, he missed a couple throws early, was high on a couple of backs. Then he got in the groove and he moved the ball extremely well. Thought the drives on the goal line was a great throw. The fumble was it. The interception was it was a first down ball right through their hands. I mean, he was 60, 70% for 200 some yards, threw a touchdown. Had some nice scrambles. I thought he managed the game well. I thought he played a solid game. I mean, just had that fumble at the end of the game that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe anybody can clear his thoughts. Sometimes you guys have better notes from the game than I do, but as we're going. But I thought he played a pretty good football game, and it didn't bother him. Either of those situations didn't really bother him.
Staying on the right.
I thought he was really good on third down too. I thought he stuck some balls in tight holes inside in the middle of the field on some third down throws or a tight end and stuff pretty good too.
Of the self-inflicted wounds on offense, do you view most of them as correctable, or are there some sources of
there's
concern?
No doubt. It's correctable. I mean, a couple guys that made them, but sometimes you do that. And on offense, I always say this: it's like, how can a golfer sometime on offense is such the precision and timing is so important. You can shoot 65 one day and 75 the next. Sometimes those putts just rim out. Sometimes your timing, your rhythm. And on offense, if it's just a hair off one guy, it screws you up. You know what I mean? Sometimes the ball, and you can't do that. But that's got to come. We can't allow that to happen. And we got to get that fixed. Our defense was outstanding. We got to start matching the points with the way they're playing. We'll be in great shape.
Far right, Gabe.
We're moving the ball. It's got to finish drives.
You're packing us with a ton of info, Jim. I can't remember if you talked much about the Paul return right before the touchdown.
Oh, yeah, I did.
How
the
huge
punt
was
return.
that?
The punt, I mean, it was a couple, not only that, but just there was 10, 15-yard returns that they were punting it back and we were getting it back. But that return all the way up to the 50-yard line was huge now. I told you, he's doing an outstanding job, and our kicking game just getting better and better.
Okay, Ben to the right, and then Zach, and then I've got one in the back.
Jimbo, after the Arkansas game, you said
Yeah.
you thought that y'all had the potential to win 9, 10, 11 games this year. You told the team in the locker room that. What gives you that optimism, and do you still feel that way now? After
I do. I do, because I see how much untapped potential we have, and I see what they're capable of, because I've seen them do it in practice. I mean, and I get to see some things sometimes that y'all don't get to see because of, I get to see them do it in practice, and if they can just lock in and do it on the field, and there's the potential there. And it's just, but the key is the consistency of it, and then you got to have the grit and fight, because I don't care how good you are in this league. There's everybody somewhere just as good as you or better. I mean, it's just the way it is. And you got to figure out ways to win and compete. And I watch them do it in practice, how they go against each other. And now I just got to get a little more consistency on the field.
We'll go to the left.
But hey, we'll just worry about next week. We got to get better. We play next week.
Zach, and then we'll get one in the back.
Jimbo down here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right here. So we can probably ask Helen this. We speak with him later. But the touchdown pass to Jace Sternberger from
He was going to Jace.
He was?
Yes, he was going to Jace. 14 ran the route too short and got in there too quick and went behind. He should have been a little farther out. That was a threat. He was throwing the ball to Jace. He shouldn't have slipped his little tail in there.
Tyrell, you'll wrap us up.
Is there any special recipe for you being a great coach?
Yeah, get great players like you. Get guys that listen and let it be coach. Let you coach them, that's for sure.